I've gone along with this idea because it's about moving where I feel about holding on to something precious and letting go of it. This is something I'd never dream of doing with my own painting. But I like the idea of confronting what makes me feel uncomfortable and what I hold precious.
What we're going to do is, this painting's about death. The person on the left is dreaming about the person who's died. Also, what I wanted to bring into the painting was about how we hold on to things we've lost through images, using images. So the painting's an image. You know, a lot of painting has been about holding on to people after we've lost them. Same with photography. And what we're going to do now is bring like modern versions of holding images, which is computer graphics, into the picture.
Sam the Hammer, with his attacks, has brought the two artists closer together. They're united now about what they're aiming for. They've used paint, they've used brushes, they've used a computer, they've used knives, they've used fire. What next? They've come back with 4 copies of the woman. This is where one of them's going. And the other 3 women? They've ascended now, and they look like ancient icons. So 2 painters have created 2 figures. Where did they come from? How do the painters identify with their creations?
My experience of those people I've lost either in relationships or through death is that in time they come to be part of my internal world, and sometimes I talk to them, or they come to me in dreams, or they come and sit next to me in real life. You know, I feel that they're there, their presence is there, and I can imagine them as if they really are there.
I have strange guilt about the fact that I've never put a tombstone on my daughter's grave, and I never visit my daughter's grave. And I used to defend the fact that I never done that because it's like conforming to what people traditionally do, and for me it's something I hold precious in my heart, and I don't feel I need to advertise that.
The plan now is to take the painting and unveil it in front of a group of artists and critics. First, they watch a bit of what we've filmed so far, so they can see how the 2 painters have worked together. And now it's time for the moment of truth. The 3 ladies at the top seem to keep swapping around, but the lower part is unchanged. So, our 2 painters are facing a room full of their peers, and their peers seem pretty frustrated.
I think the impression I got from the first part of the film was that it was that you were quite seriously at odds with each other.
But it seemed to me that you were both sort of working on this with your own visions and trying to see where there was an overlap.
When you started off, it was like 2 kids, actually, sort of sparring. But then it developed into 2 students sparring. And it was kind of upper 6th form, A-level, kind of experimental stuff. And I wish one of you had had an idea of what you wanted to do right from the outset.
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you this question? Yeah. Are you too serious about your art and what you do individually? Then I'll tell you a bit of free advice. You want to pull out of this project right away, because this will destroy your careers. This is the worst type of light entertainment gimmick I have ever seen. And if you pursue this, you're crazy.
I found you both, you and the cameraman, are very, very brute. And it's a place for brutality in painting. But painting is coming from a discipline of a very intimate things. It's nothing between you and the canvas. I found that discipline as an artist, I'm an artist also, one of the most difficult one. And it's so easy to criticize. It's so easy to put somebody down.
The process that I've never gone through, and I'm working in a completely different way. It's a lot of giving and taking. I'm learning from it.
Whatever the end result of the work was, you have learned a different way of working. You have learned to respond to each other, to respond to other people, and it's got to change the way you do your own work, regardless of what you think.
I found the cameraman, with all the respect, I would take him out of the film completely.
The whole thing is a joke. You want to quit it straight away. I'm telling you. Jack's a dear friend of mine. I love him dearly. But this is the worst sort of gimmick.
Why do you think that?
The disabled person, the single black mum with 3 kids. The whole thing stinks.
Yeah.
And I like that
and the fact we're arguing with the cameraman is great, because that's interactive. It's happening. It's honest. It's
But it's honesty doesn't take you anywhere. It's very easy to be honest against
But they handle it so well.
Absolutely.
So, what to do with the painting? Chuck it on a skip? Or might they manage to find somebody who likes it? Anybody?
The look is good. You can see the death and the Virgin Maria. In the back, red lake. Like she coming to take the spirits. She coming go to the sky. And the sky too powerful with the color, yellow. And in the top, same look, the Virgin Maria with more profundity.
Oh, I don't like it.
I like the painting. It's just the figure, the 2 figures. I mean, that figure I like. I don't like that figure there, but the actual painting surround is quite enjoyable, I would say.
It's strange what I see. It's sad for me. But I like it. It's really nice. I really like.
Someone's died. Is there God watching over them or something?
Would you have it at home?
Would I have it at home? No. It's not like I dislike it or anything. No, I wouldn't have it at home though. It's just not my sort of thing. I'm not really into artwork.
Is this supposed to be... Is there a message here?
It's up to you to decide, I think.
I think the message is that somebody is watching over you all the time. That's my assumption. But it's very, very good indeed. It's very cleverly done.
art and artists are for the furtherance of humanity. People like Dickens, D.H. Lawrence, Goya, Rembrandt, Van Gogh, all those people left something behind that made the world a better place. Modern painting does the opposite. It makes it worse.
So much for Simon and Marcia. But they're not giving up. They think they've found a home for the painting.